0, 1.
Let's get started.
Hello and welcome back, pro traders. In today's episode, I'll be sharing with you all my exact S&P 500 game plan for tomorrow's market session on November the 4th, okay? So let me get my big face out of the way and show to you how we can make some money here on the next few sessions. Now, ultimately, the big elephant in the room is obviously the fact that we are still confined in this range in which we're looking to rotate highs, lows, etc., and etc., okay? So from this perspective, we do need to figure out what the distance is underneath this low to figure out the projection above this high to see if we still have to go back up before coming back down, okay? So when looking at it like this, we can project this now above, and as you can see, it's just a bit off of the high. So that leads me to the first variation, okay? Now the first variation is basically going to be the fact that we're going to rotate back up to this prior high and then essentially look for another failure in which we look to rotate all the way back down through the low and hit some of those levels of support underneath, okay? So that's the very first variation that we need to be aware of. Now, the second one is ultimately going to be a bullish breakout, which is a little less common given the fact that the overall momentum, as you can clearly see, is proceedingly bearish, okay? So that being said, we would have to see significant strength, and you're more than likely going to see the market kind of break away from this prior high and keep going higher and higher. Now, there's several different variations you do need to be aware of. This is just but one of several, okay? But in this situation, like I said before, you need to see significant strength because we're tied to this range as it stands right now. So in this situation, again, you want to see it break out, go higher, and then simply look to buy the dip as it looks to now retest this prior high, which is from the 29th, I believe, on Wednesday, okay? So that's going to be somewhere right around 689, and that will be the major objective if we do break out of this range. Now, conversely, everyone, we do need to be aware of what happens in the situation when we rise to the downside near these levels of 680, okay? Now, the 680 level is very important because ultimately we would expect to see a bullish reversal. Now, the bullish reversal, again, is just going to keep the range going. Nothing too new or too different that I need to harp on too much. But again, just know that we are looking for a bullish reversal at that particular low. And the fact that the prevailing trend right now is a little bearish, it does give credence to the fact that we could see a breakout going lower with a little bit more high probability than usual, okay? So just be aware, again, several different variations that this can form. However, if we do break out of the range significantly to the downside, we can now look for continuation plays to short as the market continues to rotate lower, more than likely at the very least trying to fill this gap at that 677, okay? So just be aware that you kind of would want to see it something maybe a bit more like this, in which we don't fully rotate to that low just yet. Maybe just like literally just a hair off of that low, the short and curlies. And then we can look for that sell coming back down into 677, okay? So that's pretty much the preferred, I guess you could say 4 variations that you need to be aware of for tomorrow, okay? Now, besides that, there is always the potential for a random range to show up. So just be aware that if we don't get a tremendous sell-off and you notice that we end up barcoding at this high, so let's just say we go up here and then we end up just barcoding, okay? If we end up just barcoding, then we need to treat this barcode with its own specific identity, okay? We no longer are interested in the other variations that we talked about, and we need to hone in on this. Now, just like before, how we found the midpoint of this range and the extremes, we would need to do that for this, okay? So let's just say in this scenario, really quickly, that the midpoint's right there, okay? We're now looking for this thing to basically, because it is bullish overall, for us to get a fake breakout to the downside, okay? Let me back this up real fast. We would look for a continuation going up and then some sort of like breakout to the downside. Now, it would be a fake breakout because we're in a new range, and that new range will be governed. And that means that basically we can look for a nice opportunity to buy this thing back up and fully rotate from that full distance underneath, which would be in this scenario, this whole move here. And then the distance above would be the projected outcome in like the best case scenario. Okay. Now from there, we could always like continue to be bullish, in which is kind of the same setup. We go higher, pull back and retest the high. Okay. But we'll cover that in the live stream, obviously tomorrow morning. So if you do want the updated version, as well as just to see exactly how I end up trading this exact system live, I have a YouTube channel. obviously. And in that YouTube channel, every Monday through Friday at 9:30, I have a live stream where you can see me trade the S&P 500 futures doing this exact same system, okay? Now be aware that if you do want to trade along with me, if you want to hear my commentary and learn the system yourself, then you do need to look down below in the Discord link so you can figure out which tier is right for you, okay? So besides that, everyone, hopefully I will see you tomorrow morning in the live stream. Leave a comment down below on any stocks of interest so I can have future content for yourself. And then as always, be safe, trade safe, and I'll see you on the next candle.
I know it's hard to trust so-called gurus. That's why I live stream my trades every single day, Monday through Friday, starting at 9:30 a.m. The live stream isn't for you to copy my trades, it's to show proof and credibility that my strategy works. The stream is delayed and muted to protect my edge. But if you want to see everything unmuted and in real time, check out the Discord and Patreon links below. You'll get exclusive perks and the opportunity to learn the system for yourself, so you don't miss great opportunities just like this one.
All right, everyone. So you're going to be seeing a trade that I just recently took live during the stream, and ultimately you can be a part of this too, so make sure you look down below. But when taking a look at the trade that we just recently took here, it was the objective coming in was the fact that we had a really big move push to the upside, okay? Now this big move to the upside was basically counterplayed by a pullback, and subsequently our entry was to look to get in right above a couple pivots to retest the prior high, okay? So what you're seeing right now is the replay of my actual entry, which was right here at this 68.1925 area. And again, ultimately, like I was saying before, our main objective from this standpoint is to look to try to retest this prior high back at 68, let's just say 38. So what we are looking at right now is my volatility-based stop loss in perfect action, okay? Every trade and every day has a different stop loss based on the volatility of the day specific. So when taking a look at this trade specifically, you can see that we came relatively close to getting stopped out, okay? However, we did not get stopped out, and we ultimately reversed just like we were expecting. Now, obviously a bit deeper of a correction, but everything was within the wheelhouse of what we were expecting. As you can soon see here in just a few seconds, we ended up getting that first target as it hits right there. And then with a little bit more patience, we did end up getting the second target as well. Now just be aware, after you get your first target, you do want to stop the risk, which is why we did pull the stop up to right around and or above our entry pivot, okay? Now from this standpoint, again, we were just waiting, being patient. And I was referencing in this part of the video what we talked about in our afternoon game plan videos, okay? I was basically saying that we were looking at this in terms of that green case scenario that we mentioned on our nightly recap videos, and that we were essentially looking for a continuation going higher, okay? Now we kind of phased that back to where we were. We did have that bigger move that went up, and now this is the three-legged pullback, and again, the retest to the high. Now, at the very least, I am expecting it to retest the high and potentially continue going higher, which is why we have those targets above us, okay? But in essence, we ended up getting that next target with a bit of patience. Definitely some patience was required. And then we ended up tightening up our stop loss and then getting trailed out without hitting the extension, okay? Now, all in all, this was a $2,500 trade. So if you want to be a part of the situation just like this, then be sure to look down below for the Discord/Patreon links, or come and join the muted, delayed live stream every 9:30 here on the YouTube channel.